Hey there, welcome to the Resource Training channel. Today I want to give you a quick walkthrough on uploading mass input cycles into DMO. Let's start by taking a peek at how updates are even made to the MMPA. As you know, the MMPA is built on an ancient platform that uses a programming language called COBOL. Due to the specificity of this platform, updates are loaded into the system using a specific format of code on what we call a trail card. Each line on a trail card consists of exactly 80 characters of data and represents one transaction on a pay record, such as a 3504 or a DNO2. So how do we apply this knowledge? Well, DMO has a built-in module that allows us to bypass the manual input portion of DMO, and instead directly upload trail cards of any length to generate a DMO cycle. Here's how. First, log into DMO. Once you're at the main DMO input screen, hover over Tools and click Import Files. This will take you to a small menu with a drop-down and a button. In the drop-down, select the top option that says AFAFC.dat. Then click Choose File and select your trail card, which should also be named AFAFC.dat. Click OK, and if all goes well, you'll be presented with a new cycle screen. Put in your new cycle number, click OK, and after a minute or two, your cycle will be beautifully generated right before your eyes. Do a quick validation of one or two lines just to make sure everything loaded to the right spot. Then click on the thumbs up to pass it on to the auditor. Input job complete. So that's all well and good, but how do I get a proper AFAFC trail card in the first place? Well, the RTC is here to help. There are some Excel-based tools out on Fix that can help meet most of your needs. If you have a specific need based on your installation's mission, it's a good idea to learn how to construct your own trail cards. If you are interested, I'll go into detail in the optional content at the end of this video. For now, we'll look at two tools from Fix. The first tool is called Master Coding 114. This is a nearly comprehensive list of different FIDs and action indicators that we use to update records and can be used for your day-to-day work with customers. As you can see, there's a huge list of different sheets, each of which is a FID and all of its corresponding action IDs. The table of contents will help you determine which FID you need based on the update requirement. However, if you already have your FIDs memorized, your best place to be is the Master DD114 tab. If you focus your attention on the light green box on this tab, you can simply input the code that you need, and the sheet will generate what you'll need in order to successfully make the update. Add in the codes underneath, and click the Add to 114 and Load DMO Code button. This button, as it says, will add the code to the 114 for you. You're able to add 15 inputs to each 114. After it's full, or if you're just done with that form, click the Print and Clear button to get a printed copy of the form, and to start it up with the next batch of inputs. Once you've finished with your inputs entirely, click on the blue DMO Code tab at the bottom. You'll notice that all the inputs you made were creating a trail card for you automatically. Now all you have to do is copy all that data and paste it into a blank notepad. Save the notepad anywhere, name it AFAFC.dat, and now you're ready for DMO upload. The second tool is called DMO Upload Log. This tool is designed to help you mass input the same FID and action ID updates instead of just one at a time. It can be useful for things like document sets sent from housing or the dorms, AC charity allotments, FlyPay updates, DD 1881s, and more. Each tab contains a set of columns based on the data needed to make that input. Simply load the SSNs, dates of change, and any other pertinent data, and the DMO code will fill in on the right side column. The length column will help you know when you've reached the needed 80 characters to make the transaction a success. When your data is complete, simply print the sheet as is and you'll be given a completed DD114. It's not the prettiest, but it's valid. Now simply copy the DMO code column to a fresh notepad, save as AFAFC.dat, and you're all set. One problem with this tool is that you'll notice it's not very comprehensive. If you need to input a certain FID or action ID, you may likely need to construct one yourself. Though it can be daunting at first, it's not too difficult to construct your own formula to create trail cards. Stick around if you want to learn. This has been your RTC guide to making mass updates in DMO. I highly recommend you adopt this process as it will free up the inputters to move on to more important duties. and if the 114s were certified before the upload, it will give the auditors a break from having to detect human input errors. They can simply check the 10% and push the cycle through with no fear for input errors. I hope you learned some cool tricks from this guide, and feel free to submit your feedback on this video in the comments below, or directly to the RTC at acrecenter.fm.rtc@us.af.mil. See you next time from the Resource Training Center. Welcome to the optional portion of this training, nerd. If you're viewing this portion, that means you want to learn how to build your own trail card. For the record, I'm glad you're here. A trail card can be constructed using the Excel formula concatenate. This formula allows you to easily combine data from multiple other cells to construct the information you need. The best way to create a specific line is to pull a DMO update that contains the successful input. Let me show you an example of a DNO3 meal deduction transaction. To get the data I need, I go to DMO updates, then fill in the left side dropdowns. Then I click a bunch of dates to get enough data, fill in the FID and action ID I need in the transaction box, then click Show Updates. Once some lines appear, I scroll to the right, and voila, there's the DMO code. This is the better way to get code, as you can verify that it did process correctly before referring to it. However, if the transaction is rare and can't be found, you or an inputter can simply input a dummy transaction, then print their cycle. The DMO cover sheet contains the trail card data as well. Now that you know what your data needs to look like, all you need to do is make your concatenate formula look exactly like the DMO code. Luckily, all trail card lines have a similar pattern. First, 5 characters to represent the FID, usually starting with a 0. Next, the member's social. Then 5 letters from the member's last name, as seen on the MMPA. After that, it usually begins with the start date and goes on from there. At the end of the card, 13 characters will be added by DMO to show the ADSN, user input initials, cycle number, and sequence number. You do not have to construct this information in your formula, as it will be overwritten by DMO no matter what. Simply leave spaces in place of the characters in order to get up to that 80 character requirement. Because of this standard pattern, another FID's DMO code formula can be borrowed from elsewhere on the sheet. Let's start by making a copy of an existing sheet. Once it's copied, rename it to the transaction you're constructing, in this case, DNO3. Now you're already halfway done. The concatenate formula is already there for you, and all you need to do now is make some minor adjustments to line up with the code shown in DMO. First, we'll change the 6503 portion of the code to DNO3. We still have a start and stop date, so I'll go ahead and rename those headers to better line up. Then we'll specify the meal deduction type, and go ahead and overwrite T with 1 here. If your transaction may have different codes in these spots, go ahead and just leave them blank. However, if, like for DNs, you may only ever see type 1, you can fill it in to make it easier. Now, looking back at the formula, we can see how everything matches up. In this case, we're in luck. The DMO line shows start date, then stop date, then the code with no spaces, just like with the 6503. If we did need to make changes here, we would simply add commas where we need to, add some quotes with spaces, or refer to more cells. If your change has many elements, you can right-click and add new columns to help facilitate each element, then simply add them into your formula. This part takes some guessing and checking until you notice your formula matches up with the DMO code exactly. Once you get it to match up, you're all set. Resize the table as you need to make the 114 look right, and then test it out with a few examples in a new cycle. Study each line to ensure everything is in the right place. If it is, then you're good to go. Congratulations! This formula can be used however you like in any sheet you'd like to use. If you add new transactions, you're more than welcome to update the tool on Fix and add your own notes. Just be sure there is no PII in your updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.